Howdy folks, welcome to the Cactus Atlas. My name's Glenn and welcome to Yellowstone National Park. This video we're going to be showing you a little bit of life around Yellowstone, where I'm staying, and we're gonna of course go see the pinnacle of it all when I go to check out Old Faithful for the first time. You're gonna want to stick around for this one. I believe there are two bear. I can see them way off in the distance. They're brown. I can't tell you if they're grizzly or what, but that's what's going on here and why everybody's parked like this. At least there's somewhat of a shoulder to park on here. I've seen it where people like park halfway onto the road on either side. So this is the part of Yellowstone that gets a little crazy and frustrating. You really gotta keep a close eye out, unlike anywhere else I've been. Unbelievable. Today is July the 4th, so it's on a Tuesday this year, so I'm hoping the July 4th vacationers are getting the heck out of Dodge. But, you know, hopefully the crowds will thin just a little bit, because it was pretty crazy today driving around here. I suspect it will not. My strategy is to get up at the crack of dawn and drive about 45 minutes up the road to where Old Faithful is located and check out that section of the park, maybe the most popular section of the park. So that's what we have in store. There's a lot of geysers in that area. So between the lake, the hotel, and that, I think you'll get a good taste of this general area of Yellowstone and what it's like. But anyway, that's been the story so far. So you're seeing me now at the end of my first day, heading basically to check into my hotel and shower. That's the first order of business. And I don't know, I'll show you the room for sure and show you what the place is like. We'll do all of that stuff. And that might be it for tonight. We might be catching up at the crack of dawn in the morning. We'll see. See how I feel when I get to we got 9 miles to go, and those 9 miles are going to take 15 minutes. So see how I feel when I get there, and if I check in, if it goes quick and I can get settled and I have time left over before dinner, we'll be hooking up. All right. Welcome everyone to the Bear Lodge at Yellowstone National Park, Grant Village. Let's go see if this place is worth a stay. Is anyone home? Okay, so smells fine. That's usually the first thing I do is the smell test. It's a little bit dark in here. Let's get some light. Look out at the parking lot. My car is right over there, I see it. Red GMC Acadia. And this is actually nicer than the pictures made it look. It looked a little bit more, like maybe a little older than what I'm seeing here, but I don't know. You can see it has age. There's some stains on the carpet. And here we are, looking at the restroom, very sizable. I guess I got a handicap room, but that's kind of nasty. Amy, I think your caulking services might be needed here at the at this lodge. But I'm not a fancy guy, so I'll take it. It's hot water. Count me in. All right. I just had dinner at the Grant Village restaurant, I think it's called. You have to have reservations for dinner, but not for lunch or breakfast. And I made a reservation for 9 p.m. That was all they had. But it's weird because up here, probably because we're further north, it is now 9:30 and you can still see the sunset kind of being in Arizona, and that's weird. We don't have that. I think this is another restaurant, the Lake House restaurant. Didn't really do any research on that one, but it doesn't look too busy. We're gonna walk out here on the end. So is this West Thumb? Has to be West Thumb and not Yellowstone Lake proper, even though they connect. And I'm trying to think, I want to say the kayaking route that I would need to do studying maps if I'm still oriented correctly, would be out like that shore. I think you would go up somewhere like that, and there's geysers that I've seen other people's videos. You could see offshore, you could see geysers underwater. Not geysers, but bubbling things, and it looks really awesome. And they are geysers you can visit on foot also, but anyway, I want to at least show you, share this beautiful moment. Anywho, you never know what we'll find time for, how things will go. The Cactus Atlas is a very impromptu show where almost every time I plan, it gets changed. All right, how about we head back up to the room where I'm gonna put on my pajamas. It's coming up on 10 o'clock and I probably need to get up at, if I'm gonna do this right, like probably 4 in the morning or something. And we're back at home sweet home. The hotel where you can see my Nintendo Switches waiting. All right, and here's my entertainment for tonight, by the way. Some old school looking graphics. I'm playing a game called Stardew Valley, where you play like a farmer. You move to this agricultural community and you build farms and you scale them up and you socialize with other people in the village, and it's pretty simple. There's my little garden that I started. Amy loves this stuff. She's the one, like I said, that got me hooked on it. Do I have green beans? Anyway, you don't need to see this, but this is, some of you like to know what I do to feel at home and to chill out. It's this kind of thing. All right, folks, it is the next morning on our adventure to Old Faithful early to beat the crowds. And I am leaving early. It's the 6 a.m. hour. And I think we'll be there. It takes about 45 minutes or so. So it'll be within the 7 o'clock hour when we arrive. Pushing 8 o'clock maybe. It's just crazy how fast time goes by. And no, I did not get up at, well, I set an alarm for 4 and I hit that snooze bar. And I thought, just get up about this time and we'll be fine. So let's see if those are my famous last words. I don't think they will be, so I think we're gonna be just fine. All right, Old Faithful is off to the right. This is one of the pinnacle moments for me of this trip, is to go there and see Old Faithful. I just haven't figured out how I want to attack it yet. Do I want to wait for the eruption first thing when I get there? Which could be anywhere, I want to say, from 60 to 90 minutes or something like that. It's not like exactly timed as the name might make you think, but at least it does go off within that range faithfully. Unlike a lot of the other geysers we saw, which could take many more hours, days. I've even heard some maybe months. So I thought, that's an interesting note about that. And then other than that, I kind of expect similar scenery to other geyser basins we saw, but I'm kind of predicting this is going to be the best of the best. That's my expectation. Geysers everywhere. Like, what if you were an early traveler to this land and you didn't know anything about that? You would be like, what the heck is going on here? Especially if you've never seen nor smelled that. Oh, I see cars galore. It's currently 7:26 a.m., so not the earliest, but certainly still early. We have Old Faithful parking, and Old Faithful is straight ahead. This is not bad. This is not bad at all. I think we're in good shape here. This is like an amusement park. Look at this. I kind of want to park back here Wally World style and just run listening to Chariots of Fire across the parking lot like Clark Griswold did. We'll be the first to, it'll be easier to get out later, right? This hotel I've seen on other people's videos and pictures, and I just think the design is absolutely fantastic. It's beautiful. All right, with persistence, we cut through the inn to emerge upon this geyser basin. Maybe the Mac Daddy of all the geyser activity in the park where Old Faithful lives. Dude, this is my first time, like the total first timers club. And I don't care. I'm so excited to see this. Certainly a Glen first and a Cactus Atlas first. Something I've wanted to see my whole life. Old Faithful. All right, heard a couple varying things, but it sounds like it last went off around 7:01 a.m. So we just missed that one, and the next prediction, according to the National Park website, they do put predictions out there, is 8:40. So I tell you what, we're gonna go walk, check out some of these other geysers, and then we will start walking back this way in a little while. I'm sure there'll be more people, but that's okay. All right, we saw a couple small geysers yesterday, but nothing like what that's gonna do. Saw a lot of like little bubbling ones, but nothing that got maybe like, I don't know, 4 or 5 feet up in the air. They're still really cool, but this thing is gonna eject really, really hard. So this is what's known as the upper geyser basin, and there's quite a lot to do. Not too much to probably see everything today, you know, but basically, where are we? We're here. And you can go all the way up. I think like 5 miles or something of hiking. So we really didn't talk about it when I was driving around yesterday exploring, but all of this activity is due to a super volcano, gigantic volcano underneath our feet. Hasn't erupted in a long time. And I think there are different possibilities for different types of eruptions that could occur, and they closely monitor things here at the park. But if a worst case scenario happened with that, I think it would change life as we know it for some time. So we certainly could get very lucky and encounter a geyser erupting anytime on this journey. And oh cool, look, it's the Firehole River, I think. It really does go right through here. I wonder, I assume that water's freezing cold, and there are parts where it's mixing with warm water. I wonder if you could find the sweet spot and find a good place to soak in there. It's absolutely beautiful though. You can see like little vents coming out of the sides of the rocks. This is much more condensed and than the Norris Basin, Porcelain Basin, and the back loop. This is way better, in my opinion. Oh, how cool is that? I love to look how it forms its own little crater. I wanted to do that to scare people when I walk through steam, but it does not burn, but it does stink, sulfur, and it is warm. So if you were a bison or something, and no wonder they like to gather about these things to keep warm, I'd be doing the same thing. Steam everywhere. The steam is better in the cold morning than in the warm afternoon, I think. Oh wow, this might be one of the neatest blue pools that I've seen. It is so clear. You can actually see a hole inside of there where the water's probably coming from the depths. But it is just so clear and beautiful. It's almost like begging for one to jump in, although that would be your end, I'm sure. All right, it is Ye Olde Firehole River. That goes right through this burning landscape of hell. So beautiful in the early morning. I bet there's some trout to be had in here, maybe, unless the water is poisonous at a certain point. I doubt it though. That's cool. Like you have like that little rim. It's like a mini volcano almost. I don't know what the term is for that other than cool. This one's really boiling hot. Are you gonna give us a little show here? This is a pump geyser. It's like it wants to, but it can't. And look, they closed off the other trail that I wanted to do. So I guess that simplifies a few things. They probably have some damage or danger. So I'm not gonna be able to complete this as a loop as I wanted to. That's okay though. It looks like there's yet another trail that goes somewhere back this way. I don't know if it gets cut off also. I think that would have been the loop that I was wanting to do, but right here in front of me is the sponge geyser. And now I'm caught in the steam. It's hard to see what's going on around here. I see some geysers that look like more like mini volcanoes way over there. Those look awesome. And I think you can walk to those, maybe even drive and park at those when we attempt to go see something else. But this one's starting, look. Come on, sponge. You can do this. You got this. You got this. Do it. Do it. I know you want to push out. Is that the best you got? Is that the best you got? I think it is. It's starting to recede. All right, the current time is 10 after 8. I'm gonna be conservative. We'll say 10 minutes to get back. 8:20-ish or so. Seems just about right. I'm gonna be so mad if it goes off before then. We should be able to see it regardless though. I see Old Faithful off in the distance, and I see people, but I don't see hundreds or thousands, I don't think. So I still think we'll get a good spot, get set up, and we'll be well prepared. So this is at 8:20 a.m. Imagine this at noon or 2 or 3. And you can see with every minute, more and more folks are arriving. I think it's 8:39 or so. Here it goes, right on time. Look at that. I think. Come on. I see water. Think it's doing it.
Oh shit.
You got it, you got it.
Go girl.
Come on, you got more than that. The pregame show. There we go. Oh my God. Holy crap, that's a gusher. Oh my God.
Wow.
It's beautiful. Look at that, Old Faithful. That thing really is going. That goes high. was Old Faithful, folks. You saw it with me for the very first time. That was really cool. I was standing next to a lady that it was her first time seeing it too, and we didn't know what to expect, so we experienced it at the same time. So the predicted time was 8:40 a.m. and I didn't look exactly, but I want to predict it was about 8:42 a.m. or so, 8:43 when we started seeing action. So those predictions seem like they could be pretty accurate. You can see it's kind of crowded out here. Everybody's dissipating now. And one might say, this is a crowd. I would. But I imagine if you come here later, it's probably stacked. So most certainly during my time here, that's the best geyser I've seen, the biggest one. I haven't seen any other ones like that, although there are some around the park. I think you just gotta have good timing and luck. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Old Faithful and the upper geyser basin, or part of it, the part that we could walk to that I saw. And now I want to try to hit up one of the other mega attractions that I hear about called Grand Prismatic Springs. Very colorful pool with an overlook. And I saw yesterday many people parked. There was overflow parking and all that. I'm going to brave the overflow parking or whatever I need to do. It's like 5 after 9. And I'm surprised at how early people are getting out here at this national park, because in my experience, you're usually good until 10 o'clock, but Old Faithful certainly brings the draw. You have a hotel right next to it too, so I assume a lot of these are hotel patrons that can get up early and just walk out. So, and another lady was out there talking, saying something that she was here for the 7 a.m. viewing, which is probably the one that I should have tried to get out and see, and she said there was barely anyone there. So that 8 a.m. one really is when I think the crowd started. Look at the parking lot now. It's filling up towards the back. I'm glad we got that done. So comparing my experience so far today to yesterday, where I started around midday, that there is truth to start early. Much truth when you're dealing with national parks. I think it's mainly the families that have kids that have to go to eat breakfast and do all the preparation. I think those are the folks that don't roll out until 10, 11, 12. And that's where things get loud and crazy. If I can pull this one off, then other things that I might have in mind for today are likely things that aren't that popular. So that's my hope anyway. So something up here, it might be Biscuit Basin. That's one thing I do want to see, is that. All right, this might be where I need to go. There's no sign saying what this is. We're gonna just pull through here and see if we can figure it out. It would be helpful if they had a sign on this side saying this is what it is. I want to say this is how you hike up to the overlook at Grand Prismatic Springs, but god damn, that's bumpy. Well, the map, because I passed Biscuit Basin, this makes me think it's Grand Prismatic, or that exit, but unfortunately there was no sign coming the other way. So I'm like, what the hey? There's also something called Midway Geyser. So we're just going to explore on foot here and see what happens. We're coming up on something hot and steamy over here, and people just keep walking this way, so I wonder if we parked in like some kind of overflow for that. It's another one where you can see deep in there. It's clear. Okay, so I think I was right. We're here. What I'm really looking for is that. That's not even a mile. So my intuition was correct after all. Wow, you see water running off, like presumably hot springs draining into the river. You see the steam. That is cool. And you have little steam holes right off the trail. That's why they're so particular about people not going off the trail, because the ground can break underneath your feet. It's so weird. I just am not over just seeing smoke, or this, I should say steam, all the time. everywhere you go. The decision point, but the trail says to go up this way to get to the Grand Prismatic overlook in Fairy Falls. The trail continues, but this is our stop for now. Pretty crowded already. Alright, so that was the Grand Prismatic overlook. One of the most popular things here, but as you can see, it was really hard to see it in its full glory. What it's known for is its color. It's a really deep blue pool, really big, with like an orange circle around it. I think bacteria grows around it, but the steam was too much. Couldn't really see it through the steam. So I don't know if we'd have better luck at ground level. I've heard people say it's better viewed from up here, but right now with all the steam, it's not in its full glory. Maybe Amy could flash what it looks like at other times up on the screen. So I don't want to say it was a dud, but we didn't really get to see it for what it is. One of the things I said earlier is coming true. There's lots of people coming up here, families, so it's about 10 o'clock, see? All right, folks, I'm gonna leave you here at the parking lot for the trailhead, the Prismatic overlook. It's getting too crazy here. I'm gonna try to escape to lesser known areas of the park. Thank you for joining me on this early morning adventure and last night also. My first time seeing Old Faithful, it was so awesome. And yeah, we'll leave it here and I will see you next week.